is a really important question to ask. And you want to find out how long of a lease they want to sign. Because let's say they tell you, I'm looking for a $1,200 one bedroom, and you go through all the information, you verify the price, and you spent 2 hours calling, you got them the information, and then you find out they only wanted a 3-month lease, and the rent is like going to be a lot more because they charge an upcharge for a short-term lease. So you want to find out what they're wanting to do as far as the lease term, so that you can prepare that client for that increase, and then that saves you from like spinning your wheels and then not getting the appropriate information. And some properties will pay also. Let's say you do that, and you send them a list, they lease, and they go, oh, I only signed 3 months. You may or may not get paid on that because sometimes they don't offer a commission on a short-term lease. So that might affect which properties that you would send to that client, unless you just do it as a blessing and say, hey, here's the list. I may or may not get paid a referral fee, but go ahead and put me down just in case. That's what I do. And then I just hope that maybe one of them pays and not, you know, most of the time they're going to be renting short-term because they're in transition. Maybe they're going to buy a house. So you just say, those people are still just as important because they might need you after those 3 months to do something even larger. Most of the communities, or most of the newer communities now are starting to have parking garages. So the personal attached garages are kind of becoming more and more rare, just because they have more, like in the bigger cities, they have the parking garages versus like the garden style where they have an actual drive-in garage attached to their apartment, is what I'm seeing. With apartment locating, there's quite a few different ways to make money other than just getting the referral fee for the apartment. You can, most of the time, these people are going to have, like when they're leasing their apartment, they're going to have to rent a washer and dryer if they don't have one. And so you can actually refer your clients to, for instance, there's like Appliance Warehouse, or there's a furniture rental company called Court, and includes some resources for you guys. But these different things, like for instance, there's not as many apartments that offer the furnished units, and if they do, they're going to charge you a fee to coordinate that. But you as an agent can help that buyer or that client coordinate their furniture rental, and it would be cheaper for them, and then you get paid a referral fee for doing that. And it doesn't cost the client anything more other than if they, to the office, they're going to charge them money on top of what it costs to get the furniture. So Court Furniture is a great resource to make some money.
They offer several packages. They have a package called a turnkey. Turnkey means everything is provided. That's linens, that's cookware, everything. All they have, I mean, it's everything furnished. And then they have just wash and dryer, or they have just furniture and not. So they have a lot of different packages. It's a really neat company.
Yeah.
What are they called?
Court, C-O-R-T.
C-O-R-T, Court Furniture.
Okay.
And you can make a few $100s. I had one client that was going to move into a rental house or a condo, I think. He ended up not moving in, but the commission was going to be like $600 or something for him renting the furniture. So that's a pretty good chunk of change, you know, of money that is just sitting there to be made anyway. So might as well be an all-in-one go-to person for your clients. And not only can I find your apartment, I can help you find a rental for your washer and dryer and get you furniture set up. And when you get down here, you have a complete apartment to move into. If they're coming here for work or maybe from out of town, you know, that's another way to be a little bit more of service, and then you get paid on top of that. So that's just a great win-win for everyone for sure. Whenever they're renting, whether it be an apartment or a house, they're typically going to need proof of renter's insurance. So keep that in mind. We have Mr. Robert. He's with Farmers Insurance, and he will also, you know, give you guys a referral if you refer the renter's insurance. So that could be also like in your list of things that you offer to help get set up, and then you can have someone that is readily available that you can have them contact. They can text them and get that information set up, and they can provide the apartment complex with their renter's insurance.
The more vendors you can supply your clients with, the better off you're going to be, because they're going to be like, man, she knows her stuff because she's got this and this and this. And so you're going to want to make a database of every person, you know, and you're going to kick people out of that database too. I mean, you're going to be like, oh, this person's terrible to work with. They didn't do what they were supposed to. Or, man, this guy really went above and beyond for my clients. So when somebody does that, make sure you write their name and phone numbers down and keep them, so that the next time you need somebody, you have those people.
It's true. And then whenever you have those relationships that you built with those vendors, sometimes when they're ready to purchase or maybe they have a referral, they'll keep you in mind. And if you're really sending them a lot of business and communicating with them, they may have hundreds of realtors that they know, but you're the one who calls them every week and checks on them and sends them, and it's really.
And a lot of them will send you like really nice Christmas gifts, like wine baskets, massages, because they work on referral-based business, so they thank you. Like my lender, she's constantly sending me, she calls it swag, and she'll give me gift cards, take me to lunch, breakfast. And so you gotta keep in contact with those people because, like she said, you never know when, $100 commission's gonna turn into a $10,000. You just never know.
That's
Amber, what was the name of the rental insurance agent you mentioned?
His name is Robert Garcia. Shameless plug for you, Robert. If you're watching, I know you're on the group, so.
He is a sweetheart, he is really nice.
Super sweet, and he doesn't carry, Farmers Insurance.
Farmers?
Farmers. Is he with Farmers? Yeah, he's with Farmers.
Okay.
The Blue Agents. So he's gonna be also hosting one of our classes, so he can go over some of the steps that they go through when it comes to the buying and selling, and then just he's a great resource too, and he's a pastor, so he's a great person just to be around in general. So there's that, and we can put together a list. Miss Sydney and I will put together a list of like our preferred vendors that we work with and provide that to you guys. That will help save you a lot of time, and then you can hopefully maybe use a lot of the same ones, and then we can build together as a group.
And like when you start working with buyer clients, like in a super heavy saturated market and everybody's buying stuff as fast as you can, and you need a home inspection and you call Joe Blow down the street and he's like, oh, it's gonna be next Wednesday. Well, you may only have 7 days. And you're like, well, I can't wait till next Wednesday. But if you use the same guy or you have a relationship with someone, they're gonna be like, oh, I can squeeze you in. It's gonna be tight, but I can get you in. So it's so important to keep those people in your back pocket.
Yes. Sometimes you might have like a super hot market, and you might have 3 days, and you're like, oh my gosh, I've got to do this today or tomorrow. Like, I need you today, Julian. I need you to get me in. And they're like, okay, I'll go over there right now. I'm in my pajamas, but let's go.
Yes.
And they'll do it. They'll want to work hard and make it work for you because they know how important this timeline is. And Sydney will definitely go over that with you because that could mean someone losing their earnest money if they backed out. If they don't do it within the time frame. That's a whole other story, but it's important. And having those relationships will make your life a lot easier, for sure. Okay, so we talked about the water, the trash, the pest control. These things are normally billed on top of the rent, and the apartment complex will typically be the ones to bill them. So I'd say if you're renting a house, then you typically have your own water bill, but from the apartments, it's all kind of together, and they'll bill you for that. Mentioned the washer and dryer referral companies, because sometimes you can get a referral fee from that. Typically for the washer and dryer, I see the referral fee is like $25, maybe $50. I can't remember exactly, but that adds up too if you did, if you do a few clients a month. That's an extra way to make some money too. So any questions on any of those things so far?
You should probably tell them when they get like 100% of the commission, that what comes out of that too as well.
So whenever we mention the commission structure as far as what you get paid from the community, that's the gross commission. So any commission that comes in, we have it on the paperwork shows it's an 80-20 split. So I'd say, so keep that in mind. So whatever the commission is, you'll take 80% of what that is. That's what you'll be walking away with. And then also, if let's say you have a lot of, we talked about marketing, it's super important. What I do is I offer the leasing agent a $50 referral fee for leasing, for sending that referral. So as an agent, that's your responsibility. So let's say you have a referral and you offer that agent, then you're responsible for paying that referral fee out of your commission as well. So that's just something I don't remember if I touched on, so just a little reminder on that. So let's see, the next page, there's one last bullet point on the things to consider. There's going to be some communities that have no breed restrictions, and those are going to be good to keep in your back pocket because you're going to have people that call you, they're like, oh, I'm beside myself, I don't know where I'm going to move, and I have this husky, but I can't get into anywhere. Luckily, there is a filter that you can navigate through, but then sometimes maybe they might not have that in the database, and they just, maybe the manager says, hey, if someone's got really strong credit, but they have an aggressive breed, I'll consider it like on a case-by-case basis. So just keep that in mind because that could be easy money too because these people don't know where to go and they call you and you can
And you're going to see that, I would think, a lot.
Yeah.
Because people, constantly need rentals that have 7 pit bulls.
So, yeah, definitely, so that's, something just to keep in mind, just some simple little tips there. So that's, kind of in a nutshell, a lot of the different things that we come across that I wanted to share. The last 2 things I put on here were some weekly goals and some monthly goals that I like to use for myself as well. So, one of the things it says, obtain 50 new prospects regardless of when they're moving in. And the reason why I say 50 is because 1 out of every 10 will lease. So if you have 50, then you should in essence get 5 leases a week. So that is kind of, let's see, that would be 20 leases a month. So that's why I strive to do 50. And that's, even though it sounds like a high number, it's once you start marketing and you get referrals and you're getting Craigslist calls and stuff, it's really easy to get 10 in one day. You can get 20, 30. I've sent I think the most I sent out in one day was like maybe 40 lists of apartments to 40 different people in one single day. So I mean, you can do as very little or as much as you want. So once you get your new prospects, you want to enter them into your database. Sorry for my typo, you need to post on social media 3 to 7 times per week. Whether that be, a special that you saw or whatever it might be, people are always on Facebook, so if you just do something it doesn't have to be super salesy, but just say, hey, I was out at this apartment and they have this really pretty infinity pool. You can post something about that, or just something that you saw. And then I broke the weekly, the monthly goal for the apartments, I broke it down to as easy as a weekly goal if you wanted. So let's say if you want, you could visit 7 communities in a week to pass out your cards. You can either do that all in one day, as far as your total 25 properties, or you could do 7 a week, or and that just kind of breaks it down if you want to do it that way. I put on here to contact or call or email your favorite leasing agents for new specials, because the more that you contact them and stay in touch with them, they're going to keep you in mind and they're going to refer more business to you, and then you're going to know what specials are available and really that'll make it easier for you to know where to send your clients. Mail out 15 thank you cards, whether it could be to leasing agents that you've worked with. When you get a lease, you can send the client one, and you can also send a thank you card to the other leasing agent that was at the property that they leased at. And the person who referred that client. So there could be, in essence, let's see, the client, the one who referred them, and the other leasing agent. So 3 people that from one transaction that you could send a thank you card to. That way, so you can touch 3 people's lives by that one lease. And then in essence, get referrals from all of those people. We're going to go through also this software called StreamYard. And this is a software that we can, let's say we want to do a Facebook Live video. You can put you on here, and then you send the link to the other person. Let's say Sydney wants to interview me on Facebook. I would send her, she would send me the link, and they pull it up, and then it's you're literally both on the screen, and you could interview that person, or do maybe they have some specials, and you want to say, hey, I wanted to feature you this week for the apartment community of the week. Can you tell me what you have available? And you can interview them without even being in the same room, and then that's live stream, so you can post that on Facebook or YouTube and stuff and share that in different groups. That's just a way to kind of get that information out there. And by doing that and contacting those leasing agents to interview them, they're going to feel really excited or really nervous because they don't like to be on video or on camera. But that makes them feel like you're really trying to help them, not just because you want to get leads out of it, but you're they might have units that they're needing help leasing. And so they're super excited to get that information out there and share that. So I put on here to interview at least 3 communities and post that onto social media. And that could be your 3 posts for the week if you wanted it to. So I try to keep it pretty simple, but that's as far as the leasing side. Real estate in a whole is ever changing, ever evolving. So these are just some of the things that I like to do for the locating side of it. The monthly goals I put on there to visit at least 25 communities, which was on our homework to select those and put that on your spreadsheet. And then a lot of the time, especially during the summer, they'll have locator luncheons and different things. So if you can attend one event a month, I think that's good, so you can get just familiar with those leasing agents and just build relationships.
And we're planning a field trip to Windsong Ranch, where they'll serve breakfast and mimosas, and we get to ride in a party bus.
That's a lot of fun. And just sometimes the change of scenery is nice. And going out to visit the apartments, when you're like, you're working, you're busy, your phone is ringing, you have 25 missed phone calls, but you're like, you know what, I could either sit here and continuously just work my phone until my phone calls are all done, but then it's gonna keep ringing. But then you need to do 200 pop-bys, and you're like, what do? I can't stop. But you have to, because if you don't continuously grow, then you're just gonna end up drying up. So even though your phone's ringing, like Ophelia was like, do you get that many calls every single day? And I'm like, well, I do most of the time, but then I have to just stop, because if not, I'm never gonna get it done. And like you said, you'll just completely dry up, and then you have to get that momentum. If you continuously keep that momentum going, it just is a lot more smooth than if you were to like get too busy and stop, and then you've got to regain all that traction, and that's never any fun. So you just have to kind of like keep that on the schedule, keep in mind that you've got to be doing something to get those, like we're gonna go marketing next week, so we went ahead and got them done yesterday, and Tuesday and Wednesday, so that way next week we can just grab them and go versus having to put them all together. So it's important to keep that in mind of what you're gonna do for marketing, so that way that makes it as easy as possible for you guys to get out and physically do it, because it's easy to get busy and not go. But then you're gonna be kicking yourself in the butt 30, 60 days from then. So I gained 200 new prospects, that's 50 a week. It's super doable. And then like the other day I looked in my database for ALN, and I had 6,000 people in there since 2017. So that's just a few years, and that's a ton of prospects, you know. And so if you stay in touch with all those people, then there's no reason why you can't at least 100 apartments a month, you know, if you really actually put the time in the systems and follow up with all those people, you know, as much as you want. So that's going to be your golden goose for sure, is making sure that you keep your prospects in there and you're following up with them. I mentioned that typically 1 out of every 10 people will lease, and this is the reason. The goal is to consistently generate 50 per week, so that you can obtain 5 leases a week. I put 60 thank you cards a month. That's pretty doable, especially as you're leasing apartments and you got 3 thank you cards per apartment that you might have leased. So that alone is pretty easy to achieve that. And then if you're feeling pretty good, then you can certainly do 12 community interviews a month. You know, as you're going through. So that's kind of just a rule of thumb. And then I also included to make sure that you're gathering all of your receipts and putting them in some sort of filing system, because for your taxes, because that's sometimes easy to just forget to do, and then at the end of the year you're like, oh my gosh, how much did I spend in marketing, or how much did I spend on gas? And by being able to track your expenses, it's going to help you to run a lean business and find out where you're maybe spending a ton of money that maybe you're not getting the results out of that, and you can take that money and put it into something else that maybe you might get better results. So there's a lot of reasons why that's important.
And Mile IQ is an app you can install on your phone, and I think the paid version is $10, and it tracks everywhere you drive. And then you can say, okay, this was for business, this was for pleasure, whatever. And then at the end of the year, end of the month, it totals it up for you how much your deduction should be on your taxes. And you don't have to, every time you get your car, write it down.
What's that called
It's
again?
Mile IQ.
Yeah.
Mile IQ. I think it's $10.
I have that one, and it's really good. Makes it so much easier for sure, because
I assure you, you're not going to remember every time to get in and write your odometer down.
no, yeah, that's just not practical. I know I've heard some people that do it, but I just don't have that.
I just don't have that.
I know. So that's mainly the information on here. I put on here, also remember that the favor of God will be over you and your business as long as you keep Him first. We are extremely thankful to have you guys on our team and in our family. And of course, if I can be of any assistance, Miss Sydney, we're happy to help. And just that way, you know, we're together. The more that we help each other grow, then we grow as a whole. So it's great to have, we're only as strong as our weakest link, so I want to make sure that we're not leaving anyone behind, and that we all continuously grow as a whole. I only put a few items here on the homework, and these things are some of the things that you can even do maybe before you get your license as you're working on them. Not a ton of them, but some of them, you know, you can contact properties just to kind of see what their availability is. Let's see. So for the ones that are licensed, I put contact 5 properties to ask if you can put their information on Facebook to help generate more leads their way. And with that information, you would place 5 ads on the Facebook Marketplace. And we are going to do a class on how to do that. So I will let you guys know when to bring your laptops with you, so we can actually do the physical ads while you're here, so you can see how to do that. Bonus points if you post more than 5. And then if you, number 3 would be to contact me to do a live interview with you. So I've done that a few times with people. I could do it with, whether you want to come into the office and we do it together, or we do it online, we can do that too. And that's a way just to kind of introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then you can post that onto social media. And that's just another way to kind of get yourself out there. And then so on the last week's homework, we mentioned about picking 25 communities that you want to visit. This week I want you guys to send either a thank you card or an introductory card to the properties that you plan to visit, and just let them know who you are and what you're doing, and just send that out to them, so that way when you get out to visit them, they'll have they'll know who you are a little bit, just kind of touch them in a different way. And then schedule 1 live interview with an apartment community. For you guys, even with the movers, you can contact them and let them know that you're with a moving service and we're, always finding people that are moving. Would it be okay to just check out, see if they could share their specials with you, and that way you can share that with your customers, it's something that you could do that way too. Just think outside the box of different ways to just start to build those relationships.
Also, if they can interview a police officer that's in the community, or they can interview the school superintendent. Maybe the school has real high marks, and they're like Frisco has really, schools. Go and interview the superintendent and let them talk about the school and their grading and all that. That's another thing. Or the local fire department.
That is so true. Let's see. You can do, you can do vendors, whether it's insurance reps, like you said, the school, like the superintendent, I think you said. Let's see who else. Like there's all kinds of people that are in the community that you could interview, that you can just do a spotlight on other businesses that that helps everybody. So those are some ideas. And I posted the link for the website that I use for that, and you guys can use my login. I pay $25 a month, but you guys, but anyone can log in and do it from anywhere. So if you guys feel frisky and want to complete some homework, that would be what you can utilize that for. That completes the material that we have for this week so far. Do you guys have any questions or anything from maybe last week that maybe needed further information on?
That's good.
Has anyone completed any Popeyes that they can share what they did? You guys are pretty quiet today. Wake up. All right, I think that completes that as far as the material, and then we'll make sure to get the next week's out. So just keep in mind we're doing it Thursdays from 9 to 11. And if you guys want to, the pizza places, we're not open until 11, but there's a restaurant down the street. If you guys want to go have lunch, we can go over there and just kind of brainstorm and just fellowship a little bit if you guys have some time. If not, then I understand, but you do have time? Ooh, all right, perfect. I think that concludes everything. If you guys have any questions, please make sure to comment in there below so that way we can address those. And I think that wraps everything up. We appreciate all of you guys watching, and thank you guys so much. Okay.
Might seem crazy.